In the soft borderland between waking and sleep, where the edges of the world blur like diluted ink on parchment, you find yourself standing at the base of a staircase carved from pale, luminescent marble. The steps are wide and worn smooth by uncounted feet, though you know, without knowing how, that no map in the waking world records this place. Overhead, the sky is a deep indigo dome studded with stars so bright and near that each seems to breathe, expanding and contracting in slow rhythm with your own deepening breath. The air is cool, carrying the scent of wild thyme and distant sea salt, mixed with the delicate sweetness of blooming olive trees. Somewhere, far off, but perfectly audible, a single plucked lyre repeats a simple pattern of notes, as if the night itself is humming a lullaby for you. With each note, your thoughts stretch out, then soften, then grow quiet. Your shoulders drop, your jaw loosens. The small, hard knot of the day's concerns begins to melt away. You take a step up the staircase, and the marble is cool beneath your bare feet, grounding you with a gentle solidity. Another step, and the sounds of waking life grow more distant, as if you are walking away from them down a long corridor lined with soft, dark velvet. The only things that feel close now are your own breathing, the quiet rhythm of your heart, and the beckoning presence of this ancient place. At the top of the staircase, an immense doorway opens into a hall of columns so tall they seem to pierce the starry sky itself. The columns are carved with spirals, waves, and leaves, motifs from a memory older than cities, older than temples, perhaps older than speech. As you pass between them, you realize that this is no ordinary temple. This is the temple of Morpheus, Lord of Dreams, a place that has never fully belonged to the waking world. It exists in the collective memory of those who have ever slept under the skies of Greece, in caves and palaces, on ships and in shepherds' huts, in city apartments and country homes. You step inside, and the sound of your footfalls disappears, swallowed by the gentle hush that fills this place. It is not an empty silence, but a rich one, a silence that holds within it thousands of whispered prayers, countless sighs of relief, and the soft, unguarded breathing of those lost in sleep. You are both a visitor and a rightful heir here, accepted without question into the dreaming lineage of humanity. With each breath, you feel your mind loosening its grip on the bright, sharp edges of the day. Thoughts drift away like dry leaves on a slow river. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are not trying to hold on. You are simply stepping deeper into a place that has been waiting for you since before you were born. As you move further into the hall, its vastness softens into something more intimate. The light shifts, taking on a silvery quality, as if the moon has entered the room and shed her glow across the polished stone. Ahead, at the end of the colonnade, a figure stands between two columns that form a kind of inner gate, a second, more subtle threshold. She is cloaked in flowing robes that shift color like the surface of a dark sea under changing clouds. now deep blue, now violet, now almost black. 3 faint torches hover in the air around her, their flames steady and calm, casting no smoke, only a soft radiance. You know, without needing to be told, that this is Hecate Oneira, the dream aspect of Hecate, goddess of crossroads, of thresholds, of choices that lead from one state of being into another. Her face is neither young nor old, neither stern nor soft. It is something larger than those opposites, a face that has watched over countless transitions, countless departures and returns. When she speaks, her voice is like the wind moving through ancient olive branches, like water dripping in a cave, like the quiet rustle of robes on temple floors. You have come far enough to leave the day behind, she says, though her lips barely move. Here is where you step out of the time of clocks and into the time of the soul. Ahead lie the dream chambers of ancient Hellas, the remembered and imaginal realms of those who lived and loved and slept under these stars long before your own body was formed. You will walk their stories not as a stranger, but as a guest, as kin, as one more dreamer in the lineage of dreamers. She raises one hand and touches lightly between your eyebrows. A coolness spreads across your brow, then down through your face, your neck, your chest, as if a calm river has been poured through you. Worries that seemed important only minutes ago lose their shape, becoming indistinct and harmless. You feel them sinking like stones settling to the bottom of a deep, clear pool. Leave behind what weighs you down, Hecate murmurs. Take with you only what you truly are. In this place, you need no masks, no defenses. Your dreams will not harm you. They will hold you, teach you, then let you go. The 3 torches brighten for a moment, and the air around you seems to shimmer like heat rising from sun-warmed stone. When the shimmering fades, the columns beyond Hecate have become a corridor lined with faintly glowing doorways, each one leading into a different chamber of dream and memory. She steps aside and with a small knowing nod invites you to continue. Her presence will remain with you, quietly watching, a guardian not of fear, but of safe passage. You choose a doorway almost unconsciously, as if your feet know where they are going. Passing through it, you enter a space that feels at once like a cave and a temple, enclosed yet infinite. The ceiling is lost in shadow, but the walls are alive with light. They are covered, from floor to unseen height, with countless small crystalline forms, like clusters of quartz or frozen droplets of water, and each one glows from within with a gentle, pulsing radiance. You realize that these are dreams, crystallized and stored like precious artifacts. They belong to the Pelasgians, the old pre-Hellenic peoples who moved through these lands long before the more familiar city-states existed. Very little remains of them in written records, but here, in the Dream Library, their inner lives are preserved in dazzling detail. As you drift slowly between the glowing clusters, you find that you do not need to read or decode anything. With every breath, one of the crystals seems to open itself to you, and a dream flows into your awareness, full and whole. You are not watching it from a distance. You are inside it, living it gently, without fear. In one dream, you are a young woman walking through a sacred grove at dusk. The trees are ancient, their trunks gnarled and wide, their leaves whispering secrets in a language older than words. You carry a clay vessel of water from a nearby spring, and with each step, you feel a growing sense that you are not just in the grove, you are the grove. Your spine is the trunk of the central tree. Your arms are its branches. Your breaths are the wind moving through the leaves. There is no separation between you and the sacred land. In that realization, there is no fear, only a quiet, blissful surrender. In another dream, you are a boy lying on a hillside, your flock grazing peacefully nearby. The sun is high and warm, and you drift into sleep without effort. In your dream, you become a bird gliding on invisible currents over mountains and valleys, your village below reduced to a small cluster of huts. From your new vantage point, you see patterns that were invisible before, how paths between homes echo the shape of constellations, how the river mirrors the curve of the Milky Way. You feel light, unburdened, and yet deeply connected to everything you see. In yet another dream, you are an old woman lying beside a low fire, your family gathered nearby. Sleep takes you gently, and in the dream that follows, you dissolve into mist rising off the sea at dawn. You drift over the water, then over the land, falling as rain into fields, filling cisterns, beating on the petals of wildflowers. You realize you have been this mist, this water, many times before, and will be again. There is no end, only transformation. These Pelasgian dreams, one after another, enter you like warm waves, each one washing away another layer of tension or fear. There is nothing urgent here, nothing sharp or jarring, only a slow, deepening sense of belonging to the land, to the sky, to the ongoing story of human life. When you step softly out of the Pelasgian library, you find yourself in an open circular court under a clear, radiant night sky. The floor beneath you is polished stone, so smooth it mirrors the heavens above. For a moment, it is as if you are standing between two skies, the one above and its reflection below, suspended in the middle of infinity. Around the edge of the court stand faint figures, luminous but not solid. Some are dressed in tunics and cloaks, others wear garments so ancient they almost blend with the starlight. You intuit that these are the ancestors, not just of one family or one city, but of all those who ever lived in these lands. All those whose footsteps, words, and dreams have shaped the invisible landscape of this place. They do not speak with moving mouths. Instead, their voices arrive directly in your mind, overlapping yet never confused. One voice, warm and steady, says, "We learned to live by the pulse of the seasons, to sow when the earth whispered readiness, to harvest when she opened her hands. We watched the sky, the birds, the leaves, the waves. Our wisdom was not written in scrolls, but in the way we listened. Another voice, this one lower and deliberate, adds, "We built our temples where the air thinned between human and divine." Stone was not just stone, it recorded every prayer pressed against it, every tear dropped on its surface. We knew that we would die, but our words, our care, our rituals would linger in the very texture of the world. A lighter, younger voice, dancing like flute notes, says, "We loved fiercely. We celebrated when children were born, and we mourned when they were lost. But even in mourning, we felt the presence of those who had gone ahead. They were never truly gone. They were in the earth beneath us, the wind around us, the dreams that carried us through the night." The voices do not demand anything of you. They do not test you. They simply surround you in a gentle cloud of understanding. With each phrase, some small part of your own life falls into place, a worry losing its sting, a memory finding a softer context, a fear loosening its grip. You realize that your struggles are not unique in a painful way. They are part of a shared human inheritance, and because of that, you are never alone in them. You stand in the center of the circle, breathing slowly, letting the ancestors' wisdom soak into you like rain into dry soil. Their presence feels like a cloak around your shoulders, one of protection and also of permission to rest, to lay down your burdens for a while, to let sleep do its quiet work. When the ancestor voices soften into silence, the circular court slowly transforms. The reflected sky beneath your feet becomes dark, rich earth, and the constellations above you begin to shift and swirl as if they were being stirred by a cosmic hand. Stars draw together into lines and shapes, first vague, then clear. You see a woman pouring water from a vase, a hunter with a bow, a great lion, a winged horse. You are watching the birth of constellations, the moment when random points of light become meaningful patterns. This is the chamber of the first myths, where early humans tried to describe the forces that moved within and around them. The sky is their giant story canvas, and you are present as the stories are painted across it. You sense Uranus, the primordial sky, arching over Gaia, the earth, in a deep and tender embrace. From their union arise the Titans, immense beings who are less individuals and more personified aspects of nature: mountain, ocean, sunlight, storm. Then, slowly, the Olympians take shape, more human-like in their emotions and conflicts, more clearly mirrors of the people who dream them. Zeus, embodying the authority that binds community together. Hera, the complex, often wounded guardian of partnership and loyalty. Athena, the clear-eyed intelligence that sees through confusion. Ares, the raw passion of conflict. Aphrodite, the magnetic pull of desire and beauty. But here, in this dreaming place, you see that these gods are not remote powers to be feared so much as personifications of inner forces. Zeus is the part of you that takes responsibility. Athena is the part that seeks understanding. Aphrodite is the longing to connect and to be seen as beautiful. Even the darker archetypes, the jealous, the vengeful, the wild, are aspects of the human psyche trying to understand itself. The myths unfold in slow, luminous vignettes across the sky, Persephone descending and returning, Orpheus turning too soon, Heracles completing his labors, Odysseus choosing again and again to continue his journey. You do not need to remember each detail. It is enough that the underlying patterns sink into you. Descent and ascent, loss and return, trial and transformation. The sky becomes not just a place of distant lights, but a reflection of your own inner landscape. As you watch, your own life feels less random, less fragmented. You begin to sense the invisible threads connecting your challenges to larger themes, your choices to deeper currents. You feel more spacious inside, less tangled, more open to the idea that your story, too, is part of something vast and meaningful. The mythic sky gradually dims, and a horizon begins to form. You find yourself standing on the edge of wide, rolling plains under a soft twilight, neither full night nor day. The air is mild and still. Grasses ripple in slow waves like a sea turned to green silk. In the distance, low hills cradle small clusters of ancient homes, some of stone, some of wood and clay, some little more than circular enclosures. These are the plains of remembered time, where everyday lives once unfolded in the shadow of the myths. You see small groups of people moving through the landscape, women carrying bundles of grain, men driving flocks of sheep, children chasing one another in open spaces, old people sitting quietly, watching the movements of birds and clouds with a gaze that sees more than weather. None of them know that they are ancient from your perspective. They are simply alive, breathing, feeling, worrying, rejoicing. The firewood still has to be gathered. The bread still has to be baked. A child's fever still has to be watched through the night. An old father's stories still have to be listened to, even when the listener has already heard them many times. As you walk among these quiet scenes, you do not disturb them. You move like a breeze that does not ruffle their hair, yet you feel a profound intimacy with them. You sense that the fabric of their concerns is made of the same threads as yours: love, fear, hope, uncertainty, the desire to protect what they care about, and the knowledge that nothing can be fully controlled. The more you drift across these plains, the more your own life seems to relax its tight grip.
you understand that human existence has always been this mixture of the mundane and the sacred, the ordinary and the extraordinary, the carefully planned and the completely unexpected. This realization soaks into you like warm sunlight on skin. You are not late, you are not behind, you are not uniquely burdened. You are simply part of the long, continuous story of people doing the best they can with the time they are given. This understanding does not require you to do anything. It does not demand immediate change. It simply invites you to rest more deeply, to trust a little more, to let your breath fall into a gentler rhythm as you move through this long dreaming journey.
The scene narrows to a single hillside, sloping gently down toward a valley dotted with olive trees. The sun here is perpetually low, casting long shadows and bathing everything in a soft golden light. On the hillside sits a shepherd, leaning against the twisted trunk of an ancient olive tree. His cloak is worn but warm, his sandals dusty from many miles of walking. Nearby, his flock grazes lazily, bells tinkling occasionally in the quiet air. The shepherd lifts a simple reed pipe to his lips and begins to play. The melody is repetitive, almost childlike, but with subtle variations that make it endlessly soothing. Each phrase rises, pauses, then falls, like a breath, like a wave, like the motion of your own chest as it rises and falls now. As he plays, you become aware not just of the sound of the pipe, but of the silence around it, the deep, receptive silence of a landscape that has watched over people for thousands of years. The wind is barely there, just enough to move a few strands of the shepherd's hair. Far away, a dog barks once, then quiets. The bells of the sheep ring singly, then not at all. You feel yourself drawn into the shepherd's stillness, into the slow, spacious quality of his awareness. His worries exist. There are always things to think about: weather, wolves, the health of the flock, the needs of his family. But in this long, golden moment, none of those concerns demand his immediate attention. They float in the distance like small clouds, while his attention rests gently on the act of playing, on the feel of the pipe against his fingers, on the familiar weight of his body against the tree. As you sink into this scene, you feel your own body growing heavier, as if you too have been leaning against this tree for a very long time. The music enters you, winding through your thoughts and slowing them, smoothing them, making them less urgent. You imagine that with each exhale, a little more of your day drifts down the hillside, dissolving into the grasses. The shepherd's eyes are half closed, not from sleepiness, but from a kind of peaceful concentration.
He is not trying to go anywhere, not trying to become anything other than what he already is. In his quiet presence, you find subtle permission to do the same, to simply exist, to be enough, without striving, without tension. The light never fades completely in this place. It remains an endless evening, and in that endlessness, you feel the edges of time soften and blur, leaving only breath, music, and gentle rest. The hillside melts away, and you find yourself entering a cavernous space that feels both enclosed and infinite, like the inside of a great sleeping creature. The walls are soft gray, and the light is dim but warm, as if it is filtering through closed eyelids. This is the domain of Hypnos, the god of sleep, whose touch comes to every living being night after night, without fail. All around you move quiet, graceful figures, attendants of Hypnos, the personifications of drowsiness, deep sleep, gentle dreams. They glide through the space, carrying delicate threads of light in their hands. Some of these threads are pale and almost transparent, destined for quick, light dreams. Others are rich and deep in color, meant for dreams that reach far into the subconscious, into places not often visited by waking thought. You watch as one attendant approaches a cradle that appears in the air, as if suspended in the space between worlds. Inside, a baby sleeps, its tiny chest rising and falling with soft, squeaking breaths. The attendant lays a faint thread of light over its forehead, and images begin to shimmer gently above it. Warm arms, a soft voice humming a lullaby, and the steady beat of a heart against a small ear. The baby sighs and sinks even deeper into sleep. Another attendant passes by a figure that looks like an old man lying on a simple bed. His hands are folded over his chest. His face is lined but peaceful. The attendant offers him a thicker, richer thread of light. Over him, visions rise, scenes from his childhood, faces of loved ones who have gone ahead of him, fields he walked when he was young, the sensation of running without pain. The old man's mouth curves into the faintest smile. No one here is hurried. No one is anxious. The work of Hypnos's household is meticulous, tender, and entirely unhurried. Watching them, you feel your own breath become even slower, even deeper. The sense that you must do something, fix something, prepare something begins to dissolve at its roots. A different truth takes its place, that sleep itself is an act of care, a gift given freely, a necessary part of being alive. One of the dream attendants approaches you. Without speaking, they extend a hand and lightly touch your forehead, just as they did for the baby and the old man. You feel nothing jarring, nothing dramatic, just a coolness, a softening, a sense of something opening inside you, making room for rest. The attendant steps back, and you realize that they have woven your own thread of light, the one that will guide you through this very long, safe, healing journey of the night.
The dim, enveloping gray of Hypnosis House slowly gives way to the flickering amber of torchlight on stone. You find yourself standing in a chamber that feels deep within the earth, yet open to the currents of the sky above. This is a dream Delphi, a reflection of the temple where the Pythia once inhaled vapors and spoke the will of Apollo. Here, the oracle sits not on a high tripod above a chasm, but on a low, simple seat carved directly from the rock. Her eyes are closed. Her hands rest loosely on her knees. Her breathing is so quiet that you can barely see her chest move. There is no frenzy in her, no wildness, no shaking. She is in a state of profound, unmoving calm. Around her, on the walls of the chamber, faint images appear and disappear. People kneeling in supplication, leaders asking questions about wars and alliances, ordinary citizens asking about love, about children, about illness. The images are gentle, like shadows on water. The oracle does not react to each one separately. She sits in stillness, listening beneath the surface, where the patterns and currents run deeper. As you stand there, you realize that you are not here to ask her for a prophecy about the future. You are here to witness a quieter kind of knowing, the realization that much of what you seek answers for does not need to be answered in words at all. That many questions do not have single, clear solutions, but instead invite you to live with them, to grow into them. The oracle opens her eyes briefly and looks in your direction. Her gaze is calm, without judgment, and yet it sees through you in an intimate way. It is as if she perceives all of your inner knots, all of your attempts to control what cannot be controlled, all of your fears of uncertainty. And with that single look, she softly acknowledges them, then lets them go. You feel a subtle echo of her gesture inside yourself, a small loosening, an exhale you hadn't realized you were holding back. There are things you do not know. There are things you cannot know. And somehow that is not a cause for panic, but an invitation to rest. The torchlight flickers on the stone. The oracle closes her eyes again and returns to her silent communion with whatever deep intelligence she channels. You turn away, carrying with you a sense of permission to not have everything figured out before you can allow yourself to sleep. After the oracle's chamber, you enter a wide, open atrium flooded with the soft light of a sky that suggests neither dawn nor dusk, but an eternal, gentle in-between. The floor here is not covered in stone, but in fine, warm sand, the kind that shifts softly under your weight without resisting, molding itself perfectly to the shape of your feet. The air is still, and the silence has a particular quality, full but light. You sense that this place is designed not to show you anything, not to teach you anything, but simply to hold you while everything you've already experienced settles into place. You can imagine lying down here in the center of the atrium and feeling the sand accept your weight, supporting every part of you evenly. You do not rush to the next chamber. You stay. You breathe. You notice how slow your breath has become without effort. How the muscles of your face feel soft and slack. How your thoughts no longer line up in any particular order. They drift past like clouds that do not ask to be chased or named. You are halfway, though there is no need to measure the journey in terms of distance or time. Halfway between waking and the deepest layers of dream. Halfway between the stories of others and the stories you will tell yourself when you emerge. Halfway between the effort of living and the surrender of sleep. In this quiet center, you can rest. You can imagine yourself sinking slowly into the warm sand, feeling it rise around you like a gentle sea, supporting you completely. You can imagine closing your eyes, if they are not already closed, and knowing that in this place, nothing is required of you. Not action, not decision, not understanding, only breathing, only being. When you rise from the atrium of rest, whether in your mind or in the subtle space of the dream, you find yourself standing before a labyrinth entrance carved into the side of a low hill. This is not a stone puzzle designed to trap you, but a dream labyrinth, a symbolic reflection of the one said to have existed at Knossos on Crete. The passageways you enter are high and cool, their walls smooth and slightly curved, as if you are walking inside an enormous living shell. The air carries a faint smell of damp stone and distant, hidden earth. You cannot see the entire path. You can only see a few steps ahead, but that is enough. One step, then another. One breath, then another. As you walk, you notice that the turns of the labyrinth are not abrupt. Each curve flows into the next with a gentle inevitability, like the bends in a slow river. You do not feel the sharp anxiety of being lost. Instead, you feel the strange relief of not needing to decide where to go next. The path was laid out long before you entered it. Your task is simply to follow it, quietly and steadily. Occasionally, faint images appear on the walls, bulls with human eyes, dancers leaping over horns, women with long skirts and bare arms raising their hands to the sky. They are not frightening, only mysterious, deeply symbolic. You feel that they represent parts of yourself, untamed power, grace under pressure, openness to forces greater than your conscious mind. The deeper you go, the less you feel the urge to solve the labyrinth. You are not here to conquer it, not here to prove your cleverness or courage.
You are here to walk it as a kind of moving meditation, allowing its long, winding path to unwind the coils of tension inside you. Each turn taken without resistance lets another worry drop behind you. Each straight stretch of corridor offers you the chance to exhale a little more completely. There may or may not be a center to this labyrinth in the way stories describe. What matters is the journey itself, the practice of continuing gently, without forcing, without rushing. In this way, the labyrinth becomes your breath, and your breath becomes the labyrinth, each guiding the other toward a place of stillness and acceptance. Eventually, the labyrinth yields to a vaulted chamber where the air is cooler and damp. In the center of this space is a spring, emerging from a crack in the stone, its water luminous and perfectly clear. It spills into a small pool before disappearing into a dark, narrow channel that leads deeper into the earth. A figure sits by the spring, their form hazy, neither distinctly male nor female, old nor young. They smile at you with an expression that is both kind and infinitely patient. This is a place of forgetting, they say, their voice echoing softly. Not the forgetting of who you are, but the forgetting of what you do not need to carry. You kneel beside the spring and gaze into the water. Instead of seeing your face reflected, you see images from your waking life, moments of stress, conflict, embarrassment, regret. You see words you wish you had not spoken, tasks you feel you have left unfinished, standards you believe you have not met. But here, in this chamber, these images lack their usual sting. They move across the surface of the water like shadows across a wall, insubstantial, already fading. The guardian of the spring invites you to cup your hands and drink. The water is neither cold nor warm. It is exactly the temperature of your body, so that you can hardly feel it as a separate thing. It has no strong taste, yet it leaves in its wake a delicate sweetness, like the memory of honey or fresh rain. As you drink, you feel a gentle loosening inside. The memories do not vanish, they do not need to. Instead, the emotional weight attached to them begins to dissolve. What remains is information, less personal, less charged, more like scenes from a story you once read than moments that define you. You are not erasing your life. You are simply releasing the belief that every misstep must be carried like a stone in your pocket. The guardian nods in approval. They say, "You may come back here whenever you need, in dreams or in waking imagination. There is always more you can set down. There is no merit in carrying more than you must."
Leaving the spring behind, you enter a chamber lit by a red-orange glow that seems at first to promise heat and noise, like a typical forge. Yet, as you step inside, you find a profound, pervasive quiet. This is the dream forge of Hephaestus, the divine craftsman. But tonight, no hammers ring on metal, no bellows roar. The fire in the center burns low and steady, casting a slow, pulse-like light over tools and unfinished pieces. At a workbench sits a figure you take to be Hephaestus himself, or perhaps one of his dream aspects. His hands are strong and scarred, but they rest calmly on the table, folded, as if he is taking a long, unhurried pause. In front of him lies a piece of metal not yet shaped into anything recognizable. He studies it with a serene, affectionate gaze, as if there is no rush to decide what it will become. He does not speak aloud, but you sense his thoughts. Work has its time, they say, and so does rest. Creation is not a single continuous push. It is a rhythm, exertion and relaxation, intention and receptivity. The fire flares and then it dies down. The metal is hammered and then cooled. You too must cool. As you look around, you see objects in various stages of completion. Plates half engraved with intricate designs, tools awaiting handles, delicate mechanisms whose purposes are unknown to you. None of them seem anxious to be finished. They exist comfortably in their unfinished state, trusting that their time will come. You feel a reflection of this atmosphere inside yourself. Projects you have not completed, dreams you have not fully realized, tasks you have not yet begun, all these come to mind, but without the usual weight of guilt or pressure. Instead, you feel the truth that everything has its season, that not all seeds sprout at once, that pausing is not the same as failing. The steady, warm light of the forge flickers gently on your skin, and you feel suffused with a quiet permission to rest in the midst of unfinished things, trusting that what truly needs to be completed will be in its right time. The red glow of the forge softens into a golden green light. You are in a garden that seems to stretch endlessly in all directions, though it feels enclosed and safe. The plants here are abundant, heavy with grain, fruit, and flowers in all stages of growth. Seedling, flowering, ripening, seeding, fading, and returning to earth. This is the dream garden of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. Yet here, in this timeless space, nothing rots, nothing withers in a harsh way. Even the plants that are returning to the soil do so gently, as if lying down to sleep, their nutrients gladly released to feed new life. Women move among the rows and clusters. Some wear simple tunics, others elaborate robes, all of them tending the plants with unhurried care. They water, they weed, they gather, they replanted. Their faces are calm, their movements unforced. You can sense that they trust the ground beneath them completely.
They know that if they do their part, planting, tending, harvesting, the earth will do its part in return. One of the women approaches you and offers a handful of ripe grain, which you accept. The kernels are warm in your palm, smelling faintly of sun and straw and something sweet. You close your eyes and imagine eating bread made from this grain, a simple, wholesome bread that fills you with warmth and strength. You can almost feel the energy of the sun captured in the wheat, entering your own body. The woman smiles. "There is a rhythm to everything," she says gently. "Growth, rest, growth again. You are also part of that rhythm. You do not need to produce constantly. You do not need to always be in spring or summer. There are times for autumn, times for winter. Sleep is one of those times. It is not wasted. It is necessary, sacred." As you stand in Demeter's garden, breathing the fragrance of soil, leaves, and grain, you feel a kind of inner realignment. The part of you that feels guilty for needing rest, that pushes and fears stopping, begins to soften. You are reminded that you too are made of earth and water, subject to ebbs and flows, and that honoring those cycles is a form of wisdom, not weakness.
Leaving the garden, you come upon a pool of water so still it almost seems solid. The surface reflects the sky above and the surrounding landscape with perfect clarity, but as you approach, the reflections blur and shift. When you lean over to look, you do not see the world around you. You see yourself, not as in a mirror, but as if your whole life has been condensed into a single, gently glowing image. The pool shows you moments from your past, not as a relentless montage, but as a series of softly illuminated scenes. There you are as a child, delighted by something small and wondrous. There you are in a moment of fear or sadness. There you are offering kindness to someone else, perhaps without realizing how much it mattered. There you are making a mistake, stumbling, learning. No scene lingers long enough to overwhelm you. Each rises, hovers for a breath or two, then dissolves back into the water, replaced by another. You feel no judgment coming from the pool, no criticism, only a steady, compassionate witnessing. Gradually, you begin to see a pattern, not of flawlessness or failure, but of persistence. You have kept going. You have cared again and again, even when it hurt. You have tried to understand, to do better, to love. You have been human in all the ways that word contains. Watching these reflections, you feel a warmth growing in your chest, a tenderness toward yourself that may have been absent or muted before. You understand that you are not required to be perfect in order to rest. You do not have to earn sleep with a flawless performance. You are enough as you are to deserve rest, to deserve peace. The pool grows still again, its surface once more reflecting only the soft sky. You step back, carrying with you a quieter, kinder relationship to your own story. You find yourself once more in a labyrinth, but this time the scene is more specific. At the center, in a wide, circular chamber, stands Theseus, the hero of Athens, facing the Minotaur. But in this dream version, the Minotaur is not lunging or roaring. It stands quietly, breathing heavily, its bull head lowered slightly, massive chest rising and falling. Its eyes are dark, deep, and unexpectedly full of pain. Theseus holds a sword, but he too is not attacking. He studies the creature not as an enemy, but as something he has until this moment misunderstood. You realize that the Minotaur represents a part of him, the wild, instinctual, unruly energy he has been taught to fear and suppress. In this chamber, in this dream, Theseus understands that killing the Minotaur would mean trying to kill a part of himself. Instead, he lowers his sword. He steps closer. The Minotaur snorts, uncertain, but does not move away. Gently, slowly, Theseus places a hand on the great shoulder of the creature. A ripple passes through the chamber. The walls themselves seem to soften. The light changes from harsh to gentle. In that touch, the hero is not conquering, but integrating, recognizing that he is whole only when he accepts the parts of himself he once rejected. You watch this scene from a comfortable distance, and at the same time, you feel it happening inside you. You have your own minotaurs, drives and reactions, emotions and impulses that you may have labeled as wrong or dangerous. In this moment, the possibility arises that you might meet them not with violence, but with curiosity and even compassion. Again, there is nothing you must do right now. You are not required to perform any great act of self-confrontation in this instant. It is enough to know that this gentler path exists, that wholeness includes acceptance, and that your dreams are safe places to explore this slowly in your own time. The scene shifts to an open courtyard lined with low couches and pillars. Under a canopy of vines and stars, a group of figures recline, speaking softly. You recognize them not by detailed portraits, but by the flavor of their conversation and presence. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, perhaps others whose names are less familiar, but whose minds were no less bright. Yet this is not a formal symposium. There are no arguments, no sharp-edged questions, no attempts to win debates. The philosophers here are in a dream state. their sharpness smoothed, their love of truth expressed not as intellectual combat, but as shared wonder. They speak of the nature of reality, of the soul, of virtue, of beauty, but their words come slowly, spaced with long silences, in which they simply look at the sky, or listen to the faint night sounds, or sip from cups of watered wine. They are not trying to arrive at a final answer. They are enjoying the act of thinking together, of pondering mysteries that may never be fully resolved. Listening from the edges, you feel a relaxation of the need to have all your beliefs nailed down. You sense that it is possible to live a good, meaningful life while holding many questions open, while allowing your understanding to evolve with time and experience. The philosophers here have not abandoned their love of wisdom. They have simply placed it within a wider, gentler context, one that includes rest, friendship, and the acceptance of human limits. Their conversation becomes for you a kind of background music, thoughtful, melodic, non-intrusive. It reassures you that your mind can be active without being agitated, curious without being restless. You do not need to solve everything before you sleep. In fact, some questions ripen better in the dark, quietly, while you dream. You walk now into a space that feels sacred in a way that is hard to describe. It is neither bright nor dark. The light here seems to come from within the very stones. This is a dream echo of the sanctuary at Eleusis, where for centuries the Eleusinian mysteries were celebrated, rites so important and so secret that those who experienced them were forever changed, yet rarely spoke of them. Here, in the dream, the essence of those mysteries is not withheld from you. It is not revealed as a set of facts or doctrines, but as a deep feeling that life and death are part of the same whole, that what appears to end is transformed rather than annihilated, and that grief and hope are intertwined. You see, not as a literal vision, but as an inner knowing, Demeter searching for her daughter Persephone, descending into despair when she believes her lost forever, then slowly, carefully negotiating a new arrangement in which Persephone will spend part of the year in the underworld and part in the world above. This myth is more than a story about agriculture or seasons. It is a recognition of the rhythms of the soul, times of descent, times of darkness, times of return. In the presence of Eleusis, you feel your own experiences of loss and renewal held in a much larger, kinder frame. Your sadnesses are not minimized, but they are no longer isolated. They are part of a cycle shared with countless others across time. The fear that all endings are final begins to ease, replaced by a quiet trust that endings lead into new forms, new beginnings, even if you cannot yet see what they will be. This trust settles into your body like a warm mantle, making it easier to let go, to sink, to drift down into deeper layers of sleep, where the mind can rest from its constant need to know what comes next. You now enter a great amphitheater-like space, but instead of watching a play, you are surrounded by a vast chorus of luminous figures. They are the souls of those who have lived and died and passed into realms beyond ordinary sight. They do not appear as ghosts in rags or as abstract lights. They appear as themselves, simply and clearly, freed from the distractions of physical struggle. They sing. The song has no single language. It is made of many sounds, some like human voices, others like the rustle of leaves, the sigh of wind, the murmur of sea on shore. Yet it all blends into a single harmonious whole. The song speaks, without words, of the preciousness of life, of the sweetness of each moment of connection, of the inevitability of change, of the enduring presence of love, even after bodies are gone. You feel within the chorus the subtle presence of people you have loved and lost, whether recently or long ago. They are not calling you to follow them. They are not dragging you into the past. They are sending you reassurance that your love for them and their love for you remains part of the fabric of reality, woven into everything you do and are. The song swells, then gradually quiets, like a tide receding. It leaves behind a deep stillness, and in that stillness, you feel less afraid of death, less haunted by the idea of endings. You feel more anchored in the present, knowing that you carry those you have lost within you, and that in sleeping and dreaming, you sometimes draw closer to them in ways that cannot be fully explained. Once again, you come into an open, calm space, a second atrium of rest. This time, the ground is covered in soft moss and small, fragrant flowers. The air is cool and slightly moist, as if after a gentle night rain. You feel that you have traveled very far now, through many chambers, and that the journey has taken you deep into layers of understanding and emotion that are rarely touched in the rush of ordinary days. This is a place to pause, to allow everything to settle. You imagine lying down here, in the moss, feeling its springiness beneath you. The flowers surround you with a light, clean scent. Above you, the sky shows the faintest hint of light along one edge, as if it is still night, but dawn is beginning to think about arriving. You have time. You have all the time you need. There is no schedule here, no demand that you get up and move on. Sleep becomes not just something that happens to you, but a place you are consciously choosing to inhabit, a landscape rich and varied, filled with gentle companions and significant, if subtle, transformations. You let your breath fall into an even slower cadence, each inhale lifting your chest slightly, each exhale releasing a little more of the day's residue. You are held here, in this second threshold, between the inner depth of dream and the gradual return to waking. There is nothing you need to do except rest.
When you feel ready to move again, you find yourself in a quiet room where 3 figures sit at a loom of incredible complexity. Threads of every color you can imagine stretch across its frame, some bright, some muted, in their dream aspect. They do not appear frightening. They look like 3 women of different ages, each focused on her part of the work. Clotho spins new threads, her fingers moving deftly. Lachesis measures and places them in the tapestry. Atropos holds a small, sharp tool, trimming and finishing threads that have reached their natural end. You realize that they are not capricious, they are not punishing, they are simply maintaining the fabric of reality, making sure that everything fits together in a way that allows both order and freedom, both structure and surprise. They do not pause their work when you enter, but you feel their awareness of you. Without stopping, Lachesis sends a thought in your direction that your life, like every life, is finite, and that it is this very finitude that gives your choices weight and meaning. If you had endless time, nothing would matter as much. It is because you do not know how many days you have that each one is precious. This is not meant to frighten you, but to gently orient you toward appreciation rather than anxiety. If today was difficult, there will be others. If today was beautiful, that beauty is made more intense by the knowledge that it will not last in that exact form. As you watch the threads being woven, you see that yours is woven alongside and around countless others. Your life touches many and is touched by many. You are not a solitary line, but part of a vast pattern that cannot be seen from where you stand. This too invites rest, because it reminds you that you do not carry the world alone. Now you are in a cave, illuminated by a central fire. The walls are rough stone, but they have been smoothed in places by human hands. Around the fire sit men, women, and children, their faces flickering between light and shadow. This is a much earlier time, before written language, before temples and organized philosophy, when stories were told solely by voice and gesture, preserved in memory and passed from one generation to the next. An elder begins to speak. Their voice is low, rhythmic, rising and falling in a way that makes the story feel like a river flowing from the past into the present. The words are not in a language you recognize, yet you understand them in a deeper way. They speak of how the world began, of how the sky and the earth were once close together, of how they slowly drew apart to create space for life. They speak of animals that could talk, of rocks that could move,
of rivers that could sing. The children listen with wide eyes, not because they believe every detail literally, but because they feel the meaning beneath the images, the sense that everything is alive, that everything is connected, that the world is full of beings and forces with whom they are in relationship. You sit among them, invisible yet included, feeling the warmth of the fire, hearing the crackle of burning wood, smelling the smoke as it curls toward the cave's opening. You realize that your own mind is not so different from theirs. You too make stories to explain the world. You too find meaning in patterns, in coincidences, in dreams. This realization is comforting. It means that you are not alone in your confusion or your need for explanation. You stand in a long continuum of storytellers, each doing their best to weave a coherent narrative from the threads of experience. Sleep, too, is part of that storytelling, a time when your mind rearranges the day's events, tries out different combinations, and sometimes reveals truths that were hidden during waking hours. The fire burns steadily. The elder's voice slows, then stops. The children lean against their parents. Eyes droop. Breathing deepens. It is time, here too, to sleep. The cave walls dissolve, and you walk out into a landscape that feels like the Greek idea of paradise, the Elysian fields. The air is mild, the light is soft, never too bright, never too dim. The ground is covered with tall grasses and wildflowers that sway in a slow, pleasant breeze. There are trees bearing fruit, streams of clear water, and gentle hills stretching into the distance. People move about at an easy pace. Some walk alone, lost in thought or in simple appreciation of their surroundings. Others sit together, talking quietly or sharing music. There is no sense of urgency, no tasks waiting to be done, no looming deadlines. Everyone here has already completed their earthly responsibilities. They are free simply to enjoy being. Yet this enjoyment is not loud or excessive. It is calm, steady, and deeply fulfilling. You can feel in the air itself the absence of guilt, the absence of fear, the absence of competition. No one is trying to prove anything. No one is trying to be seen or remembered in a particular way. They are simply present. As you walk through this place, some of that atmosphere seeps into you. You recognize that although you still live in the world of time and tasks, you can borrow a little of this Elysian posture. You can allow yourself moments in which you are not judging your worth by what you have accomplished, but simply by your existence, your awareness, your capacity to feel and to rest. You pause beside a stream, watching the water flow over smooth stones. The sound is soothing, a constant, gentle murmur. You could stay here a long time, and in a sense you do. The impression of this place lodges in your memory, like a small, bright jewel you can return to whenever you need to remember that rest in itself is a kind of paradise.
From the Elysian fields
You come to the shore of a wide, slow-moving river. Its surface reflects both the sky and the land, but in a shimmering, ever-changing way. This is a dream image of the rivers that the Greeks imagined flowing through the underworld. The Acheron, the Styx, the Lethe. But here, the river is not harsh or fearful. It is simply a boundary, a place of passage. You see figures approaching the water from one side, stepping lightly into it and being carried gently across. Others emerge on the far bank, walking calmly into a mist that hides what lies beyond. You realize that this river represents the ongoing movement between states, between life and death, between waking and sleeping, between knowing and not knowing. You are not here to cross it permanently. You are here to sit on the shore and watch, to feel the reassurance that these transitions are natural, constant, and handled with care by forces you do not need to control. The water makes a soft sound as it laps against the shore. You sit down, letting your bare feet rest in the cool, clear shallows. The feeling is refreshing but not shocking. It wakes you up just enough to appreciate your own presence on the near side of the river, in this moment, in this body, with this breath. You understand that every night, in a smaller way, you cross a kind of river when you go to sleep, leaving behind the sharp outlines of the day and entering a softer, more fluid reality. And every morning you cross back, perhaps carrying with you a little more wisdom, a little more healing, a little more peace. The river flows on, timeless, patient. You rise, knowing that your journey tonight will also carry you across subtle boundaries, and that you are held in that movement. Your path leads you now to a temple that seems to contain all other temples within it. Its columns are of different styles, some slender and fluted, some thick and plain. Within its many chambers, you encounter the goddesses of Greek tradition in their dream aspects. You meet Artemis, standing at the edge of a forest, her bow unstrung, her hounds asleep at her feet. She represents independence, clarity, and the ability to be at home in solitude. You meet Hera, seated on a simple throne, watching over families and bonds with a gaze that is both stern and protective. She represents commitment, loyalty, and the complexities of partnership. You meet Aphrodite, not as a figure of chaos or seduction, but as a presence of love and beauty, standing calmly by the sea, her hair moved gently by the breeze. She represents the longing to connect, to be seen and cherished, and to appreciate beauty in all its forms. You meet Athena, armored yet relaxed, her helmet set beside her, an owl perched on her shoulder. She represents wisdom,
discernment, the ability to see the bigger picture and to act with both heart and mind aligned. You meet Demeter again in a smaller, cozier aspect, tending a single potted plant with great care. She represents nurture, patience, and the willingness to invest time and attention into growth. You meet Hestia, often overlooked, tending a hearth made of simple stones, the fire small but steady. She represents the quiet center of home, the stillness at the heart of all activity, the place you return to again and again. As you drift through this temple, you feel each of these presences not just as external figures, but as qualities within yourself, qualities that may be more or less developed, more or less visible, but always potentially present. You are not required to embody all of them at once. You are invited simply to recognize that, like the ancient Greeks, you are made of many aspects, and that wholeness includes all of them. This recognition brings another layer of ease. You do not have to be only one thing. You do not have to choose a single identity to the exclusion of all others. You can be strong and gentle, independent and connected, wise and playful. Sleep supports this integration, knitting together the different parts of you into a more harmonious whole. In the next chamber, you find a quiet meadow under a gentle twilight sky. People are gathered here in small groups, some standing, some sitting on the grass. These are the departed, not as ghosts or specters, but as complete, peaceful souls. They talk among themselves, share stories, remember their earthly lives with a kind of affectionate distance. There is no bitterness here, no lingering resentment, no obsessive clinging to what might have been. There is a sense of completion, of having lived through joys and sorrows, and of now resting in a wider perspective where everything is part of a larger, meaningful pattern. As you walk quietly among them, some of them look up and acknowledge you with gentle smiles. One figure, whose features are somehow both familiar and indistinct, steps closer. You feel their presence more than you see their face. They do not tell you who they are. They do not need to. You sense that they are part of your soul's extended family, someone who loves you from a place beyond specific roles and names. They do not give you advice or instructions. They simply radiate a kind of calm assurance that you are doing enough, that you have time, that you are seen and loved in ways you cannot always perceive. The effect is subtle but profound. Some underlying anxiety in you, some sense of being alone or misunderstood, loosens and fades. You do not stay long. This is their place, not yours, not yet. But you leave with the feeling that when the time comes, some part of you will recognize this meadow, this sense of quiet gathering, and you will not be afraid.
You now enter a chamber that feels uncannily familiar. It resembles a place from your own life, a room you know well, or a landscape you have walked many times. The lighting is a little strange, a little too soft or too dim, but the shapes and objects are recognizable. This is the dream within the dream, where your own memories and associations take center stage. You see younger versions of yourself moving through the space, absorbed in their concerns. A child self full of curiosity or fear, a teen self grappling with identity and belonging, an adult self juggling responsibilities and hopes. At first, you might feel tempted to judge these selves, to critique their choices, to compare them to the person you are now. But the atmosphere of this chamber does not support judgment. It supports observation and compassion. You watch them the way you might watch characters in a story you care deeply about. You see their innocence, their limitations, their bravery. Gradually, you feel these different versions of you drawing closer, not fighting, not competing, but aligning. They are all you. They have all contributed to the person who lies here tonight, listening, breathing, resting. You do not need to reject any of them. You can invite them all into one larger, kinder sense of self. This sense of inner unity, even if only partially felt, is profoundly restful. It quiets the inner arguments, the conflicts between what you should have been and what you are. It creates space for forgiveness, not just toward others, but toward yourself. The dream room fades, and you find yourself once more under an open sky. The stars are still visible, but they are growing fainter, washed out by a very delicate early light gathering along the horizon. High above, a single bright point shines with special intensity, the morning star, herald of dawn. In Greek tradition, this star was associated with a kind of gentle awakening, a reminder that night is not endless, that light will return. Here, in the dream, the morning star is both an external object and an inward feeling, a sense that you are nearing the end of this long journey through ancient imagery and deep rest. Yet there is no rush. The star does not shout you awake. It simply shines, steadily giving you time to adjust, to become aware that you will eventually be returning to your own bed, your own room, your own life. You notice your body more now, the way it lies, supported, the weight of the covers, the softness of the pillow. You notice your breath, so much slower and deeper than when you began. You notice a quietness in your mind, not total emptiness, but a spacious, gentle quietness. The morning star remains, a single clear point in a sky that is slowly turning from deep blue to lighter shades. You know that you can continue to drift here in this in-between state for as long as you like. You can wake gradually in layers, or you can sink back down into simpler, image-free sleep. Both are good. Both are safe. As the sky lightens, you sense the presence of Eos, goddess of dawn. She does not appear dramatically. You feel her more as a softening of darkness, a gentle spreading of color across the horizon, pale pink, soft gold, a hint of lavender. Eos represents renewal, the chance to begin again, the quiet promise that no matter what happened yesterday, there is a new day unfolding. She stands, in your awareness, at the threshold between dream and waking, between night and day. You feel her touch, not as a physical sensation, but a subtle encouragement in your chest, like a small flame being gently stirred. It is not a demand that you get up and be productive. It is an invitation to carry forward the peace you have found here, the insights that have settled in you, even if you cannot name them all. She places in your imagination a small glowing token in your hand, a symbol of everything you have received in these 30 chambers. You may picture it as a seed, a stone, a tiny star, a coin, a folded piece of paper. Its exact form is up to you. What matters is that it represents your right to rest, your capacity to dream, and your connection to something ancient and wise within and around you. You tuck this token somewhere safe in your inner world, knowing you can return to it anytime you need to remember that you have access to deep rest and deep wisdom any night you choose. Before the journey ends, you are led into a vast, quiet hall where statues line the walls in soft, shifting light. Some are familiar: Zeus, Hera, Apollo, but many are not. There are lesser-known deities, local spirits, river nymphs, mountain guardians, household gods once honored in tiny shrines and then slowly forgotten as centuries passed. Their names have faded from human tongues, but in this hall their presence remains gentle and alive. You walk slowly along a row of figures. None of them demand attention. None of them inspire fear. Instead, you sense that they represent all the aspects of life that go unnoticed: small kindnesses, brief moments of beauty, forgotten acts of courage, quiet gestures of love. These are the forgotten gods of your own days, the times when you did something good and then moved on without ceremony, the times when someone helped you and you never knew their name. As you pass each statue, you feel a subtle recognition, as if you are being shown that nothing truly meaningful has been lost. Even if no one remembers a particular moment, the moment still happened, and its effect still ripples outward, carried in invisible patterns of cause and consequence. You are reminded that your life is full of such small, sacred events, and that you can rest knowing that they do not need to be recorded or praised to matter deeply. The hall glows softly behind you as you move on, carrying a greater appreciation for the small gods in your own existence, the everyday miracles that make life worth living, even when they are not noticed. You find yourself now on the shore of a small, serene island. The water around it is calm, a deep blue that lightens to turquoise near the sand. Far above, gulls wheel silently, their movements smooth and unhurried. The island is dotted with low, white buildings, each with open doorways and shaded porches. This is a dream reflection of the healing sanctuaries dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine, where ancient Greeks once came to sleep in the hope of receiving curative dreams. You walk along a path lined with rosemary and sage, their scents rising as your feet brush past. Inside one of the open buildings, pallets and couches are arranged simply, each one a place where someone long ago lay down in hope and trust. They believed that in sleep the god might send them a dream, a vision of a remedy, a symbolic instruction, a comforting presence. Here, in this island of healing sleep, you feel that same trust settling into your own bones. You understand that your body already knows many ways to heal itself, given time and rest. Wounds close, colds pass, muscles recover. Even the heart, tender and easily bruised, can mend in ways that are mysterious and slow, but very real. You lie down, in imagination, on one of the simple couches. The air is warm but not hot, the sea breeze carrying just enough coolness to make you feel cozy where you rest. In this moment, you do not need to figure out how to heal yourself. You do not need to carry your pain alone. You simply allow sleep to be a medicine, a nightly pilgrimage to an inner sanctuary where healing processes are at work quietly, without your conscious direction. The rhythm of waves against the shore becomes a soothing, repetitive sound, like a deeper, older version of your own breath. You rise from the couch again in the dream, though some part of you remains lying there, held by the island's gentle, restorative power. Leaving the island, you next come into a grove of trees whose trunks are carved with scenes from myths you recognize and many you do not. Each tree is like a living column, its bark etched with stories that spiral upward toward the branches. As you pass your hand lightly over the carvings, the scenes become faintly animated, like memories being replayed. You see Heracles completing his labors, not as a brute of strength, but as a soul enduring one trial after another, learning endurance and humility. You see Orpheus walking through the underworld, his music a thread of longing and hope. You see Penelope weaving and unweaving her loom, her patience and cleverness as heroic in their own ways as any battle. You also see quieter myths, local tales of springs that appeared where someone wept, of stones that turned into people, of people who turned into trees to escape grief or danger. These stories blur the line between human and nature, reminding you that the ancient Greeks saw the world as full of beings, not objects. As you wander through this grove, you sense that myths are not fixed things, frozen forever. They are more like trees themselves, growing new branches, shedding old leaves, adapting to new climates of thought and feeling. Your own life is a kind of living myth, shaped by choices and accidents, by the stories you tell about what has happened to you. You realize you can choose, gently, to tell your story in ways that support your growth rather than your fear. To see yourself not just as a victim of circumstances, but as a traveler on a meaningful path, if sometimes difficult. This does not deny the hardness of certain events.
It simply places them within a frame where transformation is always possible. The grove hums with quiet life, leaves whisper, birds move invisibly among the branches. You feel more open to the idea that your future is not fully determined, that how you understand your past can change, and with it, your sense of what might be ahead.
Beyond the grove, a simple stone bridge arches over a narrow stream. The water below is clear, and as you look down, you see not just stones and fish and ripples, but fleeting glimpses of your waking world, your room, your bed, your daily surroundings. They appear as if reflected on the surface and then fade, reminding you gently that you will soon return there. The bridge itself is worn smooth by countless crossings. You sense that every dreamer who has ever walked the halls of this dream Hellas eventually comes to this point where the path bends back toward their ordinary life. There is no ceremony, no fanfare, just a quiet crossing from one state to another. You place one foot on the bridge, then the other. Each step feels solid and easy. The air on the far side seems a little more familiar, carrying perhaps a hint of the smells you know from your daily life, the textures you will soon feel under your hands, the sounds that will greet you when you wake. Yet you do not feel reluctant or rushed. You sense that you are carrying something back with you, something subtle but real, a slightly slower pace to your thoughts, a wider space around your feelings, a deeper appreciation for rest as not just a break from life, but as part of life itself. Halfway across the bridge, you pause and look back. The dream landscape of ancient Greece stretches behind you. Temples and groves, valleys and hills, rivers and star-filled skies. You know that it will still be there, always accessible, whenever you need to walk these paths again in imagination or in sleep. This knowledge makes the return less like a loss and more like a cycle, part of the rhythm of going out and coming back. You take the last few steps across the bridge, feeling the ground of your own world rising gently to meet your feet. Before you fully re-enter your waking surroundings, you find yourself in a quiet, dimly lit room that resembles your own, but with soft differences. The colors are muted, the edges of furniture are blurred. The bed looks like your bed, yet also like a bed in an inn along an ancient road where travelers rest between long stages of their journey. This is the room between worlds, where dream and waking overlap. You can feel your body lying in your real bed, supported and safe. At the same time,
you can still sense the lingering presence of the dream temple, the gardens, the sea, the groves, the goddesses and ancestors. They stand just behind a thin veil, ready to fade if you wish to be fully awake, or to thicken if you choose to drift back into deeper sleep. You sit in imagination on the edge of the dream bed and observe your own breathing. Inhale, exhale. The movements are small but steady. You notice how much quieter your mind is compared to when you began this journey. Thoughts may arise, but they do not claw for attention. They drift past like clouds seen from a great height. In this room, you make no vows, no resolutions. You do not need to promise yourself that you will remember every detail of what you have seen. You know that the important parts have already been absorbed, stored not as facts, but as shifts in feeling and perspective. You may recall some images vividly, others faintly, and many not at all. Yet their influence will remain, like a subtle change in the direction of the wind. Here, between worlds, you have one last chance to choose how you will move next. Into deeper sleep, letting go of images and words entirely, or into gentle waking, bringing with you the calm and openness fostered by this journey. Either choice is valid. Either choice is supported by the currents of this place. Now, with great gentleness, the last veils of dream things grow lighter. The arches and columns of the dream temple dissolve. The hills and fields and islands of ancient Greece recede into a soft, luminous distance. You become more aware of the here and now, your body lying where it is, the weight and warmth of your coverings, the feel of the surface that supports you, the ambient sounds around you. Nothing in your outer situation has changed, and yet something inside of you has shifted. You have traveled through a landscape woven from myths and memories, guided by guardians and ancestors, held by gods and goddesses that represent enduring aspects of the human soul. You have seen that sleep is not an absence, but a different kind of presence. A time when you are allowed to lay down your burdens and be cared for by deeper forces. You remember the small token Eos placed in your hand, a symbol of rest, of renewal, of connection to something timeless. Somewhere in your inner world, that token still glows, a reminder that you can return to this sense of safety and spaciousness whenever you need. You do not need to wait for perfect circumstances. You can close your eyes on any night and invite sleep to carry you again through corridors of gentle meaning. If you wish to drift now into dreamless rest, you may let your attention soften completely, focusing only on your breathing, feeling each exhale carry you a little deeper down into darkness that is warm, cradling, and utterly benign. If you feel yourself nearing waking, you may allow your eyelids to flutter, to open slightly, to take in the softened shapes of your room, knowing that you carry with you an invisible cloak of ancient peace. Either way, you are safe. Either way, you are allowed to rest. The journey through the dreaming halls of ancient Hellas has completed its circle for tonight, and its blessings will remain with you long after the details fade.